guys, welcome back to my channel. I call this, I'm uploading twice in the same week because I'm bored and don't know what to do now that How to Succeed is over. The life of a theater kid. I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite books. This is just going to be a chatty video, you know, fun little video that I decided to make because it sounds fun to me. So yeah, I will be starting with number 10 and going down to number 1. Number 1 being my favorite and number 10 being my least favorite on the list. This does not mean that I hate what's number 10. It just means that it's not my absolute favorite book. I love all these books. I love all my books equally, kind of, you know. I mean, obviously there's top 10 lists, so I'm gesturing to it. It's over here, you want to see? And that's the books that I'm going to be listing. Anyways, so I'm just going to be sitting here listing my top 10 favorite books. When I name a book, I'm going to say the title, the author, what the book is about, and who my favorite character is. Right before book number 1, I'm going to list 3 of my favorite series that I've read. Because that's really it, I think. Anyways, let's get into the video. Number 10 is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. It is about a boy named Pony Boy, and he lives with his brothers Derry and Soda Pop because his parents are dead. He has a best friend named Johnny, and they're all greasers, and they have problems with the socias, and so there's a little bit of conflict between the greasers and the socias. It takes place in the 1960s. Ponyboy and Johnny get into a situation, and then conflict ensues. So yeah, I really like this book. I read it in 8th grade. I'm really bad at explaining plots, so I'm really sorry. Anyways, so yeah, I read this in 8th grade, and I've loved it ever since. My favorite character is Dally, because I feel like Dally is an older brother type of character, and he is kind of like an older brother, while Derry, Ponyboy's actual older brother, is more of a dad. And Dally is pretty, you know, a good character. Good yet not good character. I don't know how to describe him, but he is definitely my favorite character, and I've said that multiple times. Anyways, let's get on to the next book. Number 9 on my list, Ballet Shoes by Noelle Streatfeild. And I just love this cover. This is the newer cover. I have a first edition that belonged to my mom, but it was ripped and I didn't want to ruin it, so I got a cover that I could carry with me and read outside of home. So it is about 3 sisters named Pauline, Petrova, and Posey. They are adopted by their great uncle Matthew, who they call Gum. And Gum is away on a trip, so he left them with Garney. So Garney takes care of them. And great uncle Matthew's been gone a really long time, and they don't think he's coming back, and the money he left them is running out. So they take in boarders, and one of the boarders is a teacher at a performing arts school, and she talks to Garney to let the girls train at the school, and it costs money, so Garney's, you know, hesitant at first, but she eventually lets them, and Pauline, Petrova, and Posey all go train at the school. And they train eventually to go do different things they're good at and, you know, make money to help Garney save their house that they are going to lose if they don't have this money. So, it's a really good book. I can't really say more because I don't want to spoil much of it. Petrova's not really into, you know, the performing arts. She loves planes and cars and stuff like that. And yeah, and it brings in all these boarders that bring different like things to teach the girls. They actually bring in a couple of teachers. Anyways, my favorite character in this book is, I think my favorite character is Posy. She is the littlest sister, and she is a ballet dancer, and I used to love ballet. And people would think that my favorite character is Pauline because she's the actress of the bunch, but no, actually Posy is my favorite character. She is a very interesting character, very funny girl, and yeah, so I really like her character. Anyways, yeah. So number 8 on my list is Dear Evan Hansen, and this is the novelization of the musical written by Val Emick? I'm gonna butcher these names. And that person also wrote it with Stephen Levinson, Ben J. Pasek. Oh my god, Ben J. Pasek. And Justin Paul. And they created a novelization of Dear Evan Hansen, the musical. And I really like it. The book / musical is about a boy named Evan Hansen with extreme social anxiety. He runs into a boy named Connor Murphy, and they don't get along, and then it comes to find out that later Connor Murphy commits suicide, and he had taken a note that Evan was supposed to give to his therapist, and he took that note because he thought it was, about his Connor's sister Zoe, and Connor had it in his pocket, and Connor's parents found it and thought that Evan and Connor were best friends. So Evan talks to Connor's parents and freaks out and just says yes. He lies and says, yes, I was friends with Connor, when he wasn't friends with him. And he basically lies, and they create this big fundraiser and thing, and then yeah. And Evan has a crush on Connor's sister Zoe, and so there's that, a little, I don't know, mini love story, and it's just a really good book. I think my favorite character in this book is Evan's best friend, Jared Kleinman. Jared Kleinman is the dirty-minded best friend. There's always one of those in a musical, I feel like. I really like him because he's, kind of the nerdy character, the comic relief of a very serious situation. In the musical, he's more comic relief than anything, and they sing a song, and, it's great. I really suggest the musical and the book, because it's really, really good. Anyways. And number 7 on my list is Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn. My nose is itchy, I'm sorry. It is about a girl named Alice who is bi. She's biromantic asexual. Asexual means that you do not experience sexual attraction towards anyone. And she has a girlfriend, or she had a girlfriend that broke up with her because, kind of because she was asexual. She didn't know she was asexual, but that was, the basic reason. And Alice meets a boy named Takumi at her job at the library. Alice is in college, by the way. So Alice meets Takumi at the library because Takumi starts working there. And she falls in love with him. And she's worried because she doesn't want him, she likes him and wants to, ask about and date him, but she's worried that he won't like her because she is asexual. My favorite character in this book is, I think my favorite character in this book is Alice, because as someone who is asexual and has a lot of worries about dating and stuff, it's a character that I really kind of relate to. Yeah. That was a really short one. Bad explaining things. Anyways. Number 6 on my list is Leah on the Offbeat. This is by Becky Albertalli. It is a kind of sequel to Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, about Simon's best friend, Leah. She's bi. This book's kind of about her experience through her senior year of high school, being friends with Simon and being friends with her group, and she really likes a girl in her group named Abby. And it's kind of about them, you know, talking and going and hanging out, and her falling in love with Abby, but there's also another boy that she kind of likes that her mom is pushing her towards. And meanwhile, Leah's worrying about college and her friends leaving her friends, and it's just a nice book for teenagers. I think my favorite character in this book is actually Leah, which is kind of basic because she's the main character, but I guess in a way I relate to Leah. Leaving my friends, worrying about college and stuff, and when I was in my senior year of high school, that wasn't that long ago. I just finished my senior year of high school. I was worried about college and stuff, and worrying about the basic teenage stuff in this book really spoke to me on a personal level. Number 5 on my list. It's Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. Wow. So this book is about Simon, who is, it's by Becky Albertalli, same author. It's about a boy named Simon who is a closeted gay guy, and he finds out that there is another gay guy at his school, so he emails him, and he doesn't tell this boy what his name is, and this boy doesn't tell him what his name is. This boy goes by Blue, and they email each other back and forth and fall in love, and it's a really cute story. And it's about Simon trying to figure out if he wants to come out to his parents and his friends, and this boy named Martin finds Simon's email up on a computer because Simon forgot to log out, and Martin used the computer after him and found out and is threatening to show the emails to everyone if Simon doesn't help Martin get with Simon's friend Abby, who likes Simon's friend Nick. It's a really good book. It was turned into a movie called Love, Simon, and I went and saw the movie, and then I read the book. It was backwards, so I already knew how this ended. I can't really say much without spoiling the book because it's really hard not to spoil this book. So my favorite character in this book is Bram. Bram is kind of a side character in a way. He is a side character, and he is one of Simon's friend Nick's soccer friends, and he's a soccer boy that's really nice, and yeah, I really like him. Number 4 on my list is What If It's Us? This one is by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. Becky Albertalli wrote the other 2 books, and she co-wrote with Adam Silvera on this book. It switches point of views between a boy named Arthur and a boy named Ben. Arthur is gay, and he believes in love at first sight, and he meets a boy named Ben who doesn't really believe in love at first sight, and Ben is also gay, and he has a best friend named Dylan, and he lives with Dylan, and Arthur and they are both in New York, and Arthur lives with his mom and his dad and works at a law firm with his mom as like an internship. He meets Ben, and like I said, they fall in love, and it's kind of like their story of them falling in love, and is fate real and stuff like that. my favorite character in this book is Dylan, Ben's best friend, because I love the best friends in books because they're always there for the main characters and help the main character's story get moving along, especially if the main character has a conflict, and will help the main character make decisions. And I feel like Dylan is definitely one of those characters, and Dylan is a very dynamic character in himself because you do find out a little bit about him. Yeah. The main characters in this book are very dynamic, and I really like them. What If It's Us? Interestingly enough, the title comes from Dear Evan Hansen, a song in Dear Evan Hansen. Yeah, and there's stuff in here about musicals because Arthur loves musicals. So number 3 is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This was one of the first books I read in high school, and it's about a girl named Kath, and she has a twin sister named Ren. Kath is a fangirl. She loves the Simon Snow series, which is kind of like Harry Potter, and she writes Simon and Baz fanfiction. And she goes to college, and she deals with the fact that her twin sister doesn't want to room with her, so she has to meet new people. Kath kind of has social anxiety. She has anxiety, and she fixes that by writing, and she just doesn't. She's worried about being in with someone else and just all the things that come with going to college. And she meets a boy named Levi who is best friends with Kath's roommate, and they kind of fall in love. It's a cute story, and I really like it. And it has little excerpts from either a Simon Snow book or a fan fiction that Kath wrote. And she has this big fan fiction called Carry On that actually was turned into a book that Rainbow Rowell wrote. I haven't read that yet. I really want to. And yeah, I just really love this book. I think my favorite character in it is Kath. I definitely relate to her because I have social anxiety. You know, I'm a big fangirl myself. I write fan fiction, and yeah, and I have a bunch of anxieties about going to college, you know, leaving people and leaving what I know. And I really relate to Kath, and this book helped me get through my freshman year of high school, which I was worried about because it was a big transition. So yeah, I really like this book, and I've had this book since freshman year of high school, and I've read it about like 5 times now. Yeah, I highly recommend this one. This one's really good. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell is number 2 on the list. It's another book by Rainbow Rowell. I read this book, I think, in the middle of my junior year. Junior year? No, I read it sophomore year because the librarian suggested it, and it sounded really good. It's about a boy named Park and a girl named Eleanor. Switches point of views. Eleanor is kind of the weird, I think, new girl. I believe she's new. Anyways, she's weird. She has red curly hair, or really poofy hair. She's chubby, and she gets bullied a lot because of that. And she has a weird home life, or really bad home life. And Park has a good home life. He has a lot of friends, and they meet on the bus. And she sits down next to him, and he doesn't talk to her at first because she's weird and everyone doesn't like her. And then they eventually get to talking about comic books, and they fall in love. It's a really cute story. It takes place in the 80s. Yeah, this takes place in the 80s. It's a really good book. I really enjoyed it, and I love how it dealt with the situations and Eleanor's home life, and how the characters definitely seemed real. My favorite character in this book is Eleanor because I just really liked her character. Even though I can't really relate to her much, except I have been bullied before, I can't really relate to her as much as I can other characters. But I really liked her. And Rainbow Rowell really wrote her well. And yeah. I say yeah a lot. Yeah, I read this sophomore year. And sophomore year was hard, and this really helped me through my sophomore year. So, I really liked this. Alright, we're down to almost number 1 on the list. And I'm going to list off favorite series of books. That I like my favorite series of books. I really enjoyed the Harry Potter series. The Harry Potter series was... I haven't finished it yet, but I'm enjoying it. I'm in like the middle of reading it. I'm actually reading a different book right now. I'm taking a break. I am in my first read through of the Harry Potter series. I love the movies and I love Harry Potter. But I just never gotten around to reading the books. So I'm really enjoying reading the books, seeing the difference between the books and the movies. And yeah, my favorite character in that series is Cedric Diggory. He's in the 4th book. I really liked his character. Yeah. Let's see. Another series of books I really liked was the Divergent series. That one is really good. It's about a girl named Tris in this like dystopian future where they're broken in factions, different groups, and when you're, I think, 16, you get to choose what faction you want to go to, and you can choose, you take like this test, and you can find out if you belong in your faction or another one, and you can choose to stay in your own faction or move to another one. And there's this big initiation process. Tris actually finds out that she doesn't have a faction. Like, it can't choose a faction for her, hence the name Divergent. She chooses Dauntless and goes through a big process of that, meets a boy named Four, and they fall in love. And I can't really say much without spoiling it, because it's a very spoiler heavy book. Like, if you mention if you mention too much, it'll spoil the series for you, or at least the first book. Yeah. Next series I really liked was Girl Online by Zoe Sugg. I am actually in the middle of reading this series. I just finished Girl Online on tour. It's about a girl named Penny, and she has a blog online, and she goes by Girl Online, and she meets a boy named Noah, who turns out to be a huge pop star. But they fall in love, and some stuff, craziness ensues. Can't say much without spoiling it. It's another one of those I can't say much without spoiling it. That's just the first book. Then Girl Online on Tour is about her going on tour with Noah, and craziness ensues. Can't say much without spoiling it. It's really hard. But yeah, there's another book in this series. There are 3. I think Girl Online Going Solo is the next one. I'm going to read that once I finish a whole list of books that I want to read. Yeah. Anyways, those are my favorite series. Okay, number 1 on the list is Looking for Alaska by John Green. They are turning this into a Hulu series, and I'm really excited because I really, really love this book. I read it this year, or senior year of high school, because my best friend liked it, and I wanted to read it because he mentioned a quote from the book and I didn't understand, and then he's like, "You haven't read that book?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't read it." So I guess I said that I should read it, and I did. It was really good. I love the metaphors in it. It is about a boy named Pudge, and he wants to find the great perhaps. It's said something about a poet that he likes, and he goes to a boarding school to find this grape, perhaps. And he meets a girl named Alaska, and she is very beautiful. And he, like, instantly gets a crush on her. And she has problems, emotional problems, things that have happened, and she is very philosophical and very, and she loves books, and she basically challenges Pudge to figure out what the labyrinth is, which is from one of her favorite books, because the ending of the book set is, how will I ever get out of this labyrinth? And she challenges Pudge, who memorizes words, to figure out what this labyrinth is. Is it life? Is it death? Is it something else? What is it? And the metaphors in this book are amazing. I would be lying if I didn't say I sobbed while reading this, because I did. It was so good. I can't say much without spoiling the ending. I can't say much about the second half of the book without spoiling it. It's all from Pudge's perspective. And yeah, it was a very important book, and I highly suggest this book. Like, highly suggest this book, because it is beautiful. It is has beautiful metaphors. Yeah, I didn't expect to love this book as much as I do. My favorite character is Alaska, because she's very well spoken, very philosophical, and yeah, John Green wrote her in such an amazing way. Oh my god, I'm crying! Ooh, thinking about this book makes me sad because it, made me cry. Wrote her in a very amazing way. Yeah. And honestly, like, when I picture Alaska, everyone's like, how do you picture Alaska? Do you picture her as this? I would be lying if I said that I didn't picture her the way that John Green described her in the book. But in a way, I kind of pictured her as looking similar to myself. Because, I don't know, I just kind of projected myself onto this character. Like, that she looked like me, because I don't know, maybe some of her characteristics I really liked and wished, I was more like her. And she is very clever and funny and just amazing, and I really liked her character. I highly suggest this book, and I'm super excited about this series coming out in October. I've been hoping that they would turn it into a movie or TV show, and I like the fact that John Green has been working on it and making it the way that he thinks it should be, because my biggest pet peeve about when books get turned into movies is them leaving out something or changing it so much that it's not even like the book anymore. And this is a book that if they did that too, I would be utterly devastated. But I'm hoping that they didn't, and according to a John Green video, that's not what they did, and he's very excited about this. So, yeah. That was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I should do more, sit down chat videos like this, and have fun, and talk about my favorite books, and talk about the current books I'm reading. Actually, I will mention the book I'm reading right now. The book I'm reading right now is Maybe a Mermaid. It is kind of one of my in-between books, where I read a book in between, like, maybe a more serious book, or, and my mom got it for me. It's by Joseph Cameron. It's about a girl named Anthony, and she doesn't believe in fairies, unicorns, and stuff like that. She likes comic books, and her and her mom go to a resort, and there's rumors about a mermaid, and Anthony wants to meet a best friend and make a best friend, and that's all I really know. I haven't finished it. I'm in the middle of reading it. Yeah. So that's what I'm reading right now. Anyways, I don't know how it ends. I'm excited to see how it ends. Anyways, so yeah. that was really it, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!